Well, this is a professional music synthesizer which can create up to 8 different instrument sounds simultaneously, 8 different so-called voices. Now, of course, a human being can't play all 8 sounds at once, not from a single keyboard, but a machine can by using MIDI. That's the standard interface system which allows various musical instruments to communicate with each other. This synth here has a MIDI interface, and so too does the Atari ST computer. So you can send control information from the Atari to the synth, and that feature has attracted some pretty impressive software from Steinberg Research. It turns the ST into music's equivalent of a word processor, what you might call a music processor. Tony, what can it do?
Well, the software's been designed to be as comfortable and as friendly for a musician to use with a computer as possible. So if you look at the main screen, you'll see down at the bottom we have play, record, rewind, tape counter, the things you'd find on a
just
tape
like a tape recorder, yes.
Exactly. And along the top here we have the 24 track select boxes. Tells you what you've recorded, what tracks are active.
Now, some of these tracks have got on marked on them, and that tells me that you've already recorded something.
That's right. There's a bass parts and some drums that I've already recorded. So if I just play those for you, you can hear them. And at the bottom you can see the relative amplitude of the different tracks going up and down as they play.
Very realistic sounds, but let's make it absolutely clear. Those sounds aren't coming from the Atari, are they?
No, they're coming from the synthesizer, and the Atari is acting very much like a master controller, and it's telling the synthesizer what to play, how long to play it for, what notes, etc. like that.
And all that information is information that you have put in from the keyboard.
Yeah.
How difficult is that?
It's very simple, really. You treat it just like a tape recorder. If I wanted to overdub, for instance, a brass sound on top of what we've already recorded, I just press that button. We get a 2-bar count in to give me the tempo of the piece.
Well, you make it look very easy, but if I was doing that, I'm sure I'd make a pig's ear of it.
Well, if you make a mistake, of course, it's quite easy to go back and start again, but this software actually has a note edit page that allows you to look at what you've played in more detail. Now, across here, we have a 2-bar sequence, and these lines here divide the bars up. So there's 16 divisions in each bar there, and those black blobs are actually the notes I've played.
So the longer the blob, the longer the note you have.
That's right. These blobs are very short because I've played very short notes, but if I wanted to change that blob, I could make it a bit longer, and now we'd have a very long note.
Right, this is where that music processor idea
That's
comes
right.
in, isn't it? Just like a word processor.
And also, when you play in real time, your tempo as a human being can vary sometimes. The computer can actually auto-correct your tempo, move the beats that you've played, the notes you played rather, to the nearest beat. So if I choose 16 here, and then I auto-correct it, you watch the notes and you'll see them all shuffle along to the nearest beat.
Right. Would you always do that, in fact?
Not always, because sometimes the effect is maybe too wooden, too mechanical, and it's nice to have some of the human error to make it sound more comfortable.
Right. Right, well, there are lots of other features here, of course, that we haven't seen, but tell me, why are these X's on some of these tracks
Right,
up
well,
here?
that means that there's something recorded on that track, but you can't hear it. It's like a muting function that you find in recording studios. If I was to take those 2 tracks and put them into play mode, I can play the whole sequence now with some voices on these parts here.
Oh, we've got the doobie-doos there.
That's right.
Well, it looks terrific, and you do make it look very easy, but tell me, what do the pros make of it?
Well, a lot of studios now are using it as standard equipment. In fact, you find a lot of studios actually advertising this as part of their sales.
Did I see this advertised in the back of Melody Maker?
Yeah, a lot of studios
yes.
use it now. And a lot of very famous artists use it, like Marillion, Dire Straits, people like that.
Terrific. Tony, thank you very much.